Like just when biking season ended, it was brand new helmet. And I had it in my car the whole winter. I think it was still in the box, cardboard thing. And so one of my kids, I remember my daughter Beans playing with the clasp on the helmet.
Oh yeah.
So that day I had my stroke, I go to get my helmet, go to put it on, and the thing's missing. It's a brand new helmet. So I got to drive right by the bike shop where I bought it. So I jumped in my car and I drive to them. I'm waiting for this bike ride because it was going to have the G8 Summit in Calgary, and I wanted to ride by all the protesters. And I was on my way to the gym, and anyway, I stopped at the bike shop, and I said, I just need this little piece for my helmet, because we don't sell the little piece, you gotta buy a whole new helmet. And I said, I'm not going to buy a whole new helmet. I just bought this thing from you guys like 4 months ago. It's never been worn. Anyway, so I got kind of mad. So the hell with it, I was going to go ride anyway. So I rode that day without a helmet. I ride it through right by, I don't know if you're familiar with Calgary, but there's a little theater called Pump House Theater. It's on the way going into downtown. It's right along the river. And I was riding in the grass, and I was going to take a detour and cut off the grass. And I want to take a lean behind some bushes where nobody would see me. So I diverted off the path. There was a hole. The same hole is still there. It's completely covered in grass. You don't see it. It's camouflaged, but it's about as big as a little bigger than a basketball. And my whole front tire just fell, went straight in. I was coasting on one leg. I wasn't going. There was some story that I was like a rocket riding around, which is not true. I was going fast down the hill. Once I hit along the river, I was riding flat, and I was just actually coasting real slow, too slow. And I hit that hole, and I almost crotched myself. And so I pedaled out of it, and then the back tire hit the same hole, and I pedaled out some more, and then my bike kind of wobbled, and I tipped. And I took the most pathetic fall, like just this little somersault on the grass. I remember trying to make sure I didn't break my sunglasses. I had my phone in my pocket, and I had my, those old those big shorts on and stuff. And it's like, as soon as I rolled, I hit the ground, and the second I hit the ground, I lost everything. Just boom, it went right through my whole body. Just lost everything. I couldn't lie in the grass. I'm going, oh my God.
Wow.
And I thought I gave myself another concussion. And I was really mad at myself for getting another concussion. I remember people running by, like joggers and stuff. One lady was a doctor, and she ran by and asked me if I was okay, and I said I'm fine. You're fine. I was embarrassed more than anything. But I don't know how I did it, but I remember it took me about 15 minutes, but I finally got up to my knees, stood my bike up with one hand, and I remember standing up. I got all the way up on one leg. My left leg wouldn't work, and I couldn't figure it out. I remember taking my hand. This is the part where I remember. I took my left hand and put it on the handlebars, and then it just fell off. It was like swinging.
Wow.
And then, but what is wrong with my hand? I was like battling. My left leg wouldn't work. I tried to swing my leg over the seat, and then the whole bike fell over. And finally, I called one of my kids. And my ex-wife got on the phone. I kind of told them where I was at, right next to the Pump House Theater. Described where I was, and they came and got me. And they found me. When I'm okay, I said, just take me home. I just need to bang my head, I'll be fine. Just gotta shake it off, kind of thing. I had no idea. The stroke never dawned on me. But they knew. They pulled me up to my feet. I said, just pull me out of here. And I put my arms around both my daughter and my ex-wife, and said, carry me. And we'll just walk. And I took a step, and we all fell over.
Oh wow.
And that's what I said, we're gonna call an ambulance. I said, all right, because I didn't know, but they told me my left eye was just like a big black bowling ball.
Wow.
It was just the pupil was, Anyway, so, and then it was like about, I don't know, almost 24 hours later before they told me I had a stroke. They told me I had a stroke about I was in emergency until about 4 in the morning, and they told me I had a stroke.
Wow.
And then it's like, what's a stroke? So I don't know old people get strokes. What is a stroke? It's like, And then I noticed as I was going through that whole thing, especially in those early days, that nobody would say anything positive. It was like, they didn't want to be negative, like, you're never going to get out of here. And it was like I kept saying, when do I shake it off and just, okay, thanks everybody, or
right.
just a couple of weeks, or nobody would tell you. And finally it's like, it took about 3 or 4 days for this, and they would tell you, like, if you're lucky and have a good recovery, we got that a lot. So, what does that mean?
Yeah, really. But what would the better response be?
But as far as tying the two of them together, I believe there's a distinct connection between the two of them. When I got kicked by Goldberg, I could see her lying in the ring and going, holy shit, look at all the stars.
Oh God.
There was a million. It was like the biggest. Until you've ever, like, you hear that expression, you see stars?
Yeah.
I had a million of them just blinking at me like, holy shit. It's like, now I know what they're talking about.
I did that last week. Remember when I cracked my head on that door? I did see stars. Like, it was just...
We were covering the big floods in Sydney. People's houses are destroyed, but one of the basements had one of those 3/4 doors, and I saw him coming at me, bouncing up the stairs, and he forgot it was a short. And he went right there, and I didn't have time to shout because it was in a like, oh my God.
It's a weird feeling, isn't it? Yeah, you're out, like, just out of body.
Yeah, but strokes are tough, and I've got 2 friends that were young when it happened. Your age. So
I was
that young.
46.
Yeah. God, is 2002 that far away? Yeah, it is. Time is flying. Well, it's good that you do this. This is a forgotten population, the people who are trying to get their life back to whatever normal is.
I remember the first day they wheeled me into the therapy. It was Daniel Kelly, Canadian
wrestler.
Gold medalist.
Yeah. What was he there?
He came to visit me, and he wheeled me down for my first day of physio. And I remember they just wheeled me up to a table and go, okay. I remember they take my hand and just drop it on the table, turn it over. And it was like only a half hour physio. It's like, I would try my absolute hardest to turn my hand over, and I couldn't turn it over. And then it gets to be like a couple of weeks later, like, you just keep wheeling your hand and you sit there and then you get your hand up like that far.
That was exciting. Was that good?
Well, I was getting really discouraged. Oh my God, this is never good. But then it's like a month later, you're turning your hand over.
Right.
So it's very, it's like peeling onion layers, just one little step at a time. But I just kept moving. And like I was in the wheelchair for 3 months. And oddly enough, I can remember about 2 months into it, they had me bring my bicycle. They brought my bicycle to the hospital. I said, well, should I ride around the parking lot? I said, I can't ride around the parking lot. I said, just try. They helped me and I got on. And I rode my bike around the parking lot. And it was like just like a little battle that you win. It was just little things like that all the time. I went home. I remember when I went home and I started riding my bike around my neighborhood, trying to ride it. Because I had trouble getting off. I could get on. Anyway, but I remember riding it around and I rode too much. And I went back to physio on Monday because they give you a weekend pass. And I went back on the Monday and it was like, they had me doing stuff again. It's like I couldn't do anything. My hand had sort of gone back. And they said, you went too hard. Push yourself. You went too much. Now your body's got no energy.
Wow.
So you got to learn how not to overdo it.
Yeah.
There's sort of a limit to what you can do.
Yeah.
But I think by pushing myself all the time, I always push the envelope. Like, I wanted to get on a bike and ride everywhere. Everything I wanted to do, I slowly kind of got there. And I just remember 6 months into it, like I was walking in. Not I wouldn't say strutting in, because I still had you could tell I was not the way I was, but I'd walk into the physio now, walk in and say hi to everybody, and I'd sit down. They'd all be like these people, they'd all be in suits, they'd all be tied up, strapped in. And I noticed that, like, I was one of the few guys to get anything back. Most of the stroke people, especially the older ones, never got anything back. Like, when they had a stroke, like the little grandma and stuff. Like,
Right.
I never got anything back.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling kind of guilty and bad. I got a good recovery, but there was a kid that was 17 in there. There was a kid that was 22.
Right.
And they never got anything back, and they had strokes on the right side, which is much harder.
Yeah.
That's your memory, that's your voice, speech. Even though my speech was messed up too, because half my tongue didn't work.
Oh dear.
When you swallow, you know, your right side closes up the gap, but your left one doesn't. You choke. It was a real battle, but anyway, I just noticed that I had a good recovery where some people didn't. I remember feeling kind of guilty about it, and I remember, I think it was the old grandma lady, that there was a couple of them that said to me that I was an inspiration, and they were so happy to see me walking in and out,
Right.
that I was kind of living for them kind of thing. And that ties in a lot with how I got involved in martial arts.
Yeah, that's good. Good for
You know,
you.
just for someone that had a stroke, or some of these people that are really in rough shape, obviously, a lot of them are having a tough time. They're trying to move the handle for wheelchairs and stuff like that. And my heart just goes, I was so close to that.
Yeah.
That was the hardest part for me, was being in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I just remember going, I can actually remember praying to God, saying, if you just get me out of this wheelchair, I don't care about my face, I don't care what else happens. Just get me where I don't have to be in this chair. Where I can get up, if I want to go over, change channels on the TV, I can just get up, even if I don't care how I get there, but I can get there. I will never complain about anything
Right.
ever again. You know, I slowly got out of the wheelchair, and it's like, I always think of that as don't ever forget that.
Yeah.
Never get me close.
Yeah, you made the deal with God himself, so you have to honor that.
Yeah, so I take all that for these stroke recovery.
What kind of rehab do you still do on a daily basis?
Nothing
Okay.
really. Not for stroke.
You don't have to make sure you're kind of doing a certain exercise every day.
No. I think life itself is the exercise.
Yeah.
If you can get up. I have I get a really sore foot. That's why I was switching back and forth. I have I think a little broken bone in here that's healed, but it's
Feel badly.
I think because I walk. My stroke has made me walk a little bit more. Where I walk on my left part of my foot.
Right.
When I come down, it's not flat. It's
Yes.
more like on the side, and that just aggravates that little broken bone.
Yeah.
It flares up on me, and then I can't stand. Standing is really hard.
I'm sorry we made you stand. I mean,
No,
you
I can
seem
stand
so,
for a minute.
Right, but you
When I'm
seem
at
so
airports.
healthy still.
Yeah,
like
when
you
you're
kind
in
of
lineups
go.
and stuff.
When I'm in
Yeah.
lineups, it's just standing waiting for the queue in the airplane.
Yeah, that's quite a story. And I love your. I didn't know when they pitched an interview. I didn't know the connection with the marching dance was connected with the stroke. So that's really.
Yeah,
really
it's.
nice.
I'm tight. I keep getting enough injuries and stuff with the prostate
Yeah.
Calgary and all that.
So, how's your fatigue level? Will you need to
I'm
take a
good.
nap before tonight?
No, I'm not normally. I will though.
Yeah,
Just
'cause you're on time zone difference.
Time zone difference.
Did you fly in last night?
Last night.